In this video, I'm going to do the technical analysis on wheat price futures. I'm going to look at the relative strength index, the Bollinger Bands, the MACD indicator, and the Ichimoku Cloud. If you like this content, hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and let's just jump into it. Here we have the weekly relative strength index, and I'm looking for patterns up and down to give me an idea which way this may go. So now I'm looking at the technical levels, the support and resistance, where it kind of is. And then I'm going to go into the MACD on the weekly time frame. And I can see here that a weekly has the MACD is crossed bullish already here. We'll zoom into the closer time frames to get a better perspective on this as we go. But I do want to pay attention to those levels. Let's go into the Ichimoku Cloud weekly. It is crossed bearish and it's through the green cloud. And so until it gets up above the cloud for the weekly, we're probably sideways and down from here according to this on the weekly. When I go into the weekly Bollinger Bands, it gives me no ideas because it's right in the middle. The Bollinger Bands are really helpful when we can identify that we are outside the third standard deviation. Then this indicator gets my attention. So now I want to go back to the relative strength index, and I'm going to zoom in on the time frames on this one, and I'll continue going through the MACD and the other indicators too. Now the RSI gives me some ideas when we're on the daily time frame and on the 12-hour time frame, but as we start getting into the closer time frames, it starts getting really noisy and I can't see a pattern. And so I'm really basing most of what I'm looking at the RSI for this chart is on what is the last little trend doing as we're setting up here. And the reason I'm so excited and focused on that is because we're coming into what is potentially a larger trading formation that I like to trade. And it's the 1, 2, 3 pattern. The larger 1, 2, 3 could be setting up here, where if we continue going bullish, this would be setting up the number 1, 2, 3 pattern right here, where prices are setting up above support and resistance and retesting. So what goes on inside this small time frame could be an opportunity for us to take a very tiny trade. And then if things do continue up higher, we're already positioned and we can look at adding on to that trade later to increase the size of our winning position. I do have a video on risk control rules. I've got a video on that right up in the top corner right now on rule number 2, adding on to your winners. And I'll leave you to watch that video. It's great. I didn't make it up myself, and that's why I think it's the most important video that I've ever made. So now, as we get into the closer time frames, I want to use my trend following indicator. It is not giving me a buy signal, but it's not giving me the exit signal on this 4-hour time frame. It's still giving me a partial hold status in this position. So had I gone into 2 positions here, I would have closed out of 1 position on this crossover, and I'd still be holding 1 position, and I would get out of it if prices come down further. And that's one way you can work a trading plan using this trend following indicator here on this time frame. So I want to zoom in and zoom in again because I want to see if there is the earliest indications of the 1, 2, 3 pattern setting up here. We do have a bottom, a nice reversal hammer candle, and then we've support above those levels. So the more that we support above that and break this trend line, the more friendly I am to this being a long position and that prices will be taking off from this very little spot right here. Of course, I want to see confirmation of that on the other indicators. So the daily is pulling back. I need to see the 12-hour and the 4-hour crossing bullish again. So here at the bottom, we can see that the 4-hour is just crossing bullish a little bit. Let's go into the 1-hour time frame. Yeah, and this is what I'm wanting to see is that we have some bullish divergence on this momentum indicator. So we can see that we have some higher lows in the indicator while we have lower highs or lower lows rather in the price. So now as price comes to break out of this pattern here, I'm much more excited about it. That gives me some good confirmation as we're starting to come up above and the MACD is crossing positive on all of these different short time frames and then crossing over on the 12-hour. That would be another really good confirmation. Now looking at wheat prices in the Ichimoku Cloud, let's go into the daily. The daily is just about to cross bearish, but it is holding bullish. Go into the 12-hour time frame, that's crossed bearish. So if we don't get support in the closer time frames, then we're going down. That's already a sell signal in the right there. And if we don't get the change in the smaller time frames from this little 1, 2, 3 that we're looking at, then we're not going to get it. So let's go into the closer time frames. And the 1 hour has already crossed bullish and then confirmed a bearish continuation. So this could be noise, but it will give us more clarity as prices fail below these lows. Then the long position, of course, isn't correct and we would have to close it. On the other hand, we could be catching the break of the downtrend line, the exponential moving average crossover on those small time frames, the 1, 2, 3 formation. We're getting confirmation across a bunch of these indicators, and I would hope to see something on the small time frames in the Bollinger Bands. I know when we go from the weekly to the daily, it's quite a shock when we see the difference in the size of the band. It's really narrowed down in the daily, saying that there is a big move coming, but not quite yet. As I go into the closer time frames, I'm looking for the Bollinger Bands to see the price move outside the third standard deviation in the Bollinger Bands on some time frames. And it's not until we get down to the 1 hour that we actually get outside that third standard deviation. And now, again, that we have support above that hammer reversal candle and we're holding those levels gives a lot more credence to the fact that this might be a 1, 2, 3 formation taking off. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button and be sure to subscribe. I'll be doing one on soybean, oats, and corn as well. And if you have a request, let me know. I'll do the same analysis using these same 4 indicators, looking for the 1, 2, 3 formation and the EMA crossover. And if you like how this whole package all works together for trading these signals, you can grab this indicator over on the website. Check down in the description for links on that. Thanks again for being here. Trade safe and keep those losses small.